And you missed all the other dates that plane crashes happen on that aren't these dates. And it took 10 years for one to finally happen on that date. That's just mere chance. So this is not evidence for the coherency of his worldview or his system. It's not even proof that his predictions are correct.
What we have here is a masterclass in dismantling absolute nonsense. Andrew Wilson steps up and completely tears apart this numerology charade, exposing it for the baseless superstition that it is. This so-called numerologist, Gary the Numbers Guy, comes in swinging with some wild claims. Stuff about plane crashes happening more on certain dates because of what? Magic numbers. Yeah, okay, but Andrew Wilson, he doesn't just challenge it, he completely obliterates it. He demands evidence, exposes the contradictions, and leaves this guy scrambling to explain why his predictions are just lucky guesses. Let's listen to this conversation between Andrew Wilson and Gary.
Let's go to start talking first.
All right.
Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to someone who promotes a system that's a relic, whether it be Christianity, Islam, Judaism. See how I put that one in there too? Buddhism, Hinduism. These are all belief systems that were started a long time ago when people were a lot less advanced. When people talk about the family unit, that is a discussion we're going to have today. But here's the thing. I want people to understand this. I'm not debating this as an atheist. I believe in the prime creator. I believe, I won't call the prime creator a god because to me, there's so many false gods. Plus, God spelled backwards is dog. So I'm not going to insult the guy like that. To me, the prime creator is real. We're not going to be discussing the validity if there is a prime creator. What we will be discussing is the validity of the system of Christianity, the validity of the system, Islam, but mainly we're going to focus on Christianity. And then we're going to start talking about the practitioners within that system to see if they're actually living up to their so-called virtue. Or we're going to start talking about, is there a better system? And having said that, let's have the tapes. Bills, let's start.
Here comes the attack, whatever it is.
My name is Gary the Numbers Guy. I'm a numerologist, astrologer, and the information you hear in this video just could save the life of a loved one or yourself. Ever since I started studying numerology right after, it got me to thinking, is there a pattern to this? And what I discovered is absolutely horrifying. Whenever it's the 11th, the 29th, or any day that adds up to an 11, there seems to be a lot of plane crashes in the world. Basically, if you're going to get on a plane on the 11th, 29th, any day that adds up to an 11, or say when the flight number adds up to an 11, things go wrong.
Okay, cut that video. So basically, that was a video from me in 2011. See, unlike most people who pick up grifts, I've been doing this for a while because I actually believe in this. This is what I do. This is what I believe. This is how I live my life. I told people 11 years ago, don't fly on the 11th and 29th. Play the next video, Bills.
Do not fly on 11 day. Do not fly on the 29th of the month. You've seen what happened. Not one, not two, not three, but five. Five plane crashes. January 29th, 3 plane accidents in the world. And yesterday, the first day of the snake, 2025, January 29th, we had a very serious plane accident in Washington, D.C., where over 60 people on American's airline in midair in takeoff because they collided.
The whole point is this. There's a better way to live than to believe there's a magic man in the sky. There's a better way to live than to believe a virgin gave a birth to Jesus Christ. No one will believe that stuff in the streets. Why do you believe in fairy tales that are in the Bible? I just showed you as a numerologist. I said, don't fly planes on 11 days or the 29th. What happened? We have 5 plane accidents. Some that have cost people their lives in the past 29th of the month. I didn't say 1st. I didn't say 7th. I didn't say 18th. I said 29th, and that's exactly when it happened. Numerology and astrology is a better way because that is actually the prime creator's language. I yield my time.
All right. 3 minutes and 50 seconds. All right. I'll put 4 minutes on the clock for you, Andrew. I'll start once you get going. And then, Bills, if we have that timer ready for the next one, the one after this one we'll have it, right? All right, cool. Yeah, go whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so when you're talking about religion, and Gary seems to be saying that he's going to come at this from a religious purview, not as an atheist, and he believes in some system which has what he calls a prime mover or prime creator, which isn't a god, which I don't exactly understand. So I don't actually understand what the religious purview is that Gary is speaking from. So debates, when you're talking about Christianity versus any religion or secularism, it's about worldviews. So what you're doing is you're taking epistemology, which is grounding knowledge and foundational knowledge, and you're seeing if it holds up to the scrutiny inside of a worldview. In other words, are the descriptors for this knowledge, are they coherent? Do they make sense? Is it something which can be followed? Is it something which essentially is coherent in its explanation? Gary does not actually have that. So Gary is using this bizarre system. So, for instance, he brings to bear this evidence. And his evidence is, look, I predicted that there would be plane crashes on the 11th, 29th day, this type of thing. But here's all the plane crashes that he forgot about. March 21st, China Eastern Airlines. April 7th, DHL Aero Express. May 12th, Tibet Airlines. May 29th, Tara Air Flight. June 21st, Red Air Flight. July 16th, Meridian Flight. September 4th, October 23rd, November 6th, November 18th. The list goes on and on and on of dates which don't coincide with what Gary is talking about here. The truth is that if you make a prediction that there's going to be some type of aerial catastrophe, which will revolve around the 11th or the 29th, eventually you will be right. There's not, I mean, just as an eventuality, that has to be the case. Now, note, he claims he made this prediction years ago, and this validates the prediction. I actually would counter and say that that prediction is invalidated because he made it years ago.
Yeah, exactly. This is like someone saying, I predicted it would rain someday, and then acting like a genius when it rains a decade later. Come on. Andrew Wilson is shredding this whole argument apart. If these numbers actually meant anything, Gary wouldn't need to sit around waiting for a tragedy to eventually fit his theory. He'd be able to tell us exactly when and where it would happen before it does. But he can't. And that's why Andrew Wilson is exposing this whole thing as a joke.
Because it's so many years ago, all he had to do was wait over years, because eventually, if you say the sky is going to fall on X day, it will. If you say some type of deterministic accident will happen on X day, eventually you will be correct, especially when you're talking about airlines, air traffic control, car accidents, famous people dying, right? And he's saying, well, 10 years ago I predicted this. Well, no, 10 years ago you predicted nothing. You just said there could be plane crashes which happen on these dates, and you missed all the other dates that plane crashes happen on that aren't these dates. And it took 10 years for one to finally happen on that date. That's just mere chance. So this is not evidence for the coherency of his worldview or his system. It's not even proof that his predictions are correct. And with that, I'll yield my time.
All right. You still had 3 minutes. Sorry, you still had a minute on the clock. So I guess we'll go to...
No. Let me respond to what he said.
Well, this is going to go into round one of the first debate.
I get you. Let me finish this up, though. Sir, I did make that prediction 10 years ago. I also made one about 2 days before it happened. Bills, can you play that tape again? The one I did 2 days before the 29th happened. It will be the third video in that list. See, I love the fact that you brought that up. I wanted you to bring up the fact that it was 10 years old, because I did the same thing. Do the one with the 11 on it. Yep, play that one.
On 11 days, it's the most likely that you can have issues with planes. We had 3 planes have issues on December 29th, 2024. Korea, Canada, another one. Why? Because it was the 29th and 29th is 11. And I've said this many times. On 11 days, if you can avoid flying, you should. Now, I'm not going to say I haven't flown on 11 day. I have. But if I can avoid it, I do it. Why take that chance if you can avoid it? On 11 days.
Cut the video. So that basically disproves everything you just said, Andrew, because that video was made 2 days before the 29th. So again, sir, you could try to backpedal all you want, whether you go 10 years ago or you go 2 days ago. My message has always been consistent. Now, you're going to say, guess what, Gary? Not all plane crashes happen on the 29th. Guess what? You're right. I agree with you. But the fact is, if you do a mathematical percentage on the days plane crashes do happen, you're going to see they significantly increase on the 11th and 29th. That's why on December 29th, we had 3 plane crashes worldwide. And a couple of days ago, we had 2, including the one in Washington, D.C. So your whole argument is invalidated, my friend. I just gave you more proof right there than it's all of the freaking Bible. I yield my time.
Okay.
All right,
So just to dive in, I'm willing to concede this portion of the argument, Gary. Just show me mathematically that most plane crashes are going to happen on the 11th, 29th. I'll wait.
Andrew Wilson just hit him with the ultimate checkmate. Like, it's real simple. If you've got the numbers, show them. If this is actually real, give us the stats, the breakdown, the hard evidence. But guess what? Gary won't, because he can't. This whole thing is just smoke and mirrors. Andrew Wilson is forcing him to prove his claim with real data, and we all know Gary doesn't have it. This is how you completely shut down nonsense. At the end of the day, Andrew Wilson completely exposes Gary the numbers guy as just another grifter, trying to pass off coincidence as some deep, mystical truth. The way he picks apart the argument piece by piece is just brilliant. Gary came in with big claims, but when it came time to actually back them up, he folded. No real evidence. No solid proof, just a bunch of random numbers and excuses. Andrew Wilson. He didn't just win this debate, he completely dominated it. This wasn't even close. Absolute obliteration.